Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Denise. Today we're going to talk about time. I've had a few people comment on the notion of adding what they call unnecessary time onto their manifestation appearing in 3D reality. So we're going to touch on that a little bit. And actually, I want to start by saying that when you become aware that your manifestation hasn't appeared in 3D reality, it's in your awareness of that that is making it your experience, right? So as you continue to be aware of that or question why and try to figure out what you might be doing wrong, now you are creating what I would call unnecessary time. There's no time that's necessary, but you're creating the illusion of more time because I must have done something wrong, right? I want you guys to really understand it's in the question that the answer is created. In other words, how do I not create time? How do I not create unnecessary time? Is creating unnecessary time because you're trying to figure out how to not do something, which means you're automatically assuming you're doing it, or you're assuming you might do it. You're assuming that it's possible for you to do, right? This is what, this is why we stress so often, or at least I do, to practice not getting pulled down, out of the reflection or out into the reflection. Practice not getting pulled away from source because that's what you're doing. How do I not create unnecessary time? How do I find my blocks? How do I this? How do I that? All of those questions are creating that experience for you. So it's really about pulling your awareness back to source and knowing that you can't you can't inadvertently or accidentally create more time. If you're creating more time, it's because you have an assumption that it's going to take time before it manifests. Period. It's not an accident. It's a bold assumption. And if that assumption exists, those questions will arise from that assumption. How do I stop doing this? What is it that I'm doing that's creating this? Why can't I, stop doing that? Like anything focused around that question is because you have that assumption. So that's the first thing is you stop doing that. You have to understand that the only thing that can add time onto your manifest. First of all, it's so weird to talk about time because it's illusory. It's part of the manifestation, right? And so, I mean, okay, I guess if we're talking about the unfolding or the time it takes before you see it in 3D, that time is always going to be also based on your assumption. It's what feels natural to you, what you automatically assume or believe is possible. So there's that. And then I guess we could say that that would be considered necessary time because it's what you believe would be true. But even that can be changed if you just change that assumption, right? If you just say, oh, yeah, that's just an assumption I've created. That's not a fact. That's not truth. I can choose to assume this instead. I can choose to assume that it's right now. So there's that part. And then the other crucial part that I keep trying to drive home to you guys is this, I guess I'm going to call it worshiping for lack of a better word, this worshiping of 3D reality and this sort of I don't know, I can't even think of what word is the opposite of that, but complete disregard for awareness, imagination, which is the source of it all. Like, right? This idea that this is just pretend and it's just fake and I'm just thinking it so that I can then have it in 3D because 3D is everything and 3D is real and 3D is that means truth and that means I have it and that's where and it's that, right? That will also create distance and separation between what you're whether you're declaring it, visualizing it, affirming it, deciding it, choosing it, inner conversating about it, scripting, journaling, whatever you want to call it, meditating on it, contemplating it, accepting it as yours in awareness. And then you are instantly, oftentimes, or, shortly thereafter saying, well, I don't have it. It's not real. It's not real until I have it in 3D. That's creating more space, time, distance. And it's creating like cuz you're aware, right? You're saying it's not real here. I'm waiting for it to show up here, or when it shows up then I'll have succeeded. Then I'll know it's real. Then I'll actually have it. Or you're in that space just saying, when am I going to actually have it though? But when will it actually materialize? And I want you to understand all of those thoughts about when will it or how will it or what do I do to make it materialize or manifest, all those thoughts are coming from the assumption that it's not real, that you don't have it, that you're waiting for it, right? And so what's going to happen? You're going to perpetuate or continue to have that experience of it not showing up. Like it always just comes back to you. There's nothing else. And so whenever you start to, find yourself questioning and going down the how road, bring it back to yourself, bring it back to source. Oh, it's done. Oh, that's right. It's already mine. Oh, imagination is real or whatever, right? Only awareness is real. Only imagination is real. This is the source of all that reflects in the 3D anyway. I don't even have to worry about that. It's showing up now. And just stop exploring what you might be doing wrong, because you're not doing anything wrong. And it's in the exploration that I'm doing something wrong that you perpetuate the assumption that you can be doing something wrong. Does that make sense? Right? So we really want to bring it back and be like, oh yeah, there is nothing in my way. There's nothing. Time isn't even a factor. Time is just an illusion. It's happening now. And it's not that, it's happening now. I need to see it now. There it is. There it is. There it is. It's just oh yeah, it's now. There only is now. There only is now. And now is experienced through awareness, always. So again, this is where we create the separation between what we're imagining now and what we're experiencing in 3D now. But when you know that awareness is the only thing that matters, it is how, I mean, it's what you are, but it's also how you experience your experience via awareness, through awareness. Awareness is what makes reality. That period, right? It's the awareness that gives you the experience of existing. So the only thing that matters is now and awareness, or awareness now. Who are you being aware from right now? What are you being aware of right now? That's the only thing that matters. That's your pearl. That's your pearl. But you keep, you're not buying the pearl because you keep saying, well, it's only real when I see it out in the reflection. It's only real when it shows up in 3D. It's only real when they're knocking at my door. It's only real when they're texting on my phone. It's only real when the money's in my bank. You keep transferring the power to the reflection out there. You're saying it's not real in here. It's only real until. And that's how you're not trading in or buying that pearl. That's how you're not going all in, because you're putting a condition on it. You're saying, wait, but no, you're not just diving in, right? So ultimately, this is you rejecting reality. You're rejecting everything you desire by insisting that you don't have it until you see it in the reflection. You're insisting that it's not real until it appears in 3D reality, which is the most unreal part of existence that exists. That's crazy, but that's the truth, right? So that's what I want you guys to really start exploring, adopting, affirming, contemplating, meditating on, understanding. And I'm not saying you have to do all those things. You don't, but it's just that awareness and that knowing that, oh yeah, I'm waiting for it to appear out here so that I can decide I have it. Well, what does that mean? That means you are persistently deciding you don't have it. You're being one that doesn't have it. And what do you manifest? You manifest what you're being. So how are you ever going to experience it in the 3D if you keep insisting that you don't have it and you're not experiencing it? That's the only thing it takes, is for you to decide you have it, for you to decide it's yours, for you to decide what you have visualized is real. Period. And I'm not saying it's real, meaning it's in my 3D reality. You're actually transferring the power from 3D to imagination. You're changing your assumption about reality being real and imagination being pretend. You're understanding the value of the pearl of awareness, which also is imagination. I use those interchangeably, but that's right. You're understanding, you're cherishing the pearl, you're cherishing awareness, you're declaring it, you're making it real. And in doing that, it has to be reflected because it's your assumption about it not being real that's keeping it from being reflected. All right, there's my video. I hope you all enjoyed it, and I will see you next time. Bye.